Part 3. The Free Spirit and the Philosopher of the Future. So, if Nietzsche wants to tear down traditional morality and go beyond good and evil, what exactly is he building in its place? What kind of person lives in this new world? Nietzsche gives us a name: the Free Spirit. Let's talk about who that is, and who it isn't. Who is the Free Spirit? First off, the Free Spirit isn't just someone who breaks rules for the fun of it. This isn't about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's not a moody teenager screaming, "Don't tell me what to do." Nietzsche's free spirit is much deeper than that. They're someone who has broken free, not just from rules, but from mental cages. From all the assumptions, traditions, and inherited values most people never question. The noble soul has reverence for itself. That's the key. A free spirit doesn't follow ready-made truths. They don't swallow ideas just because they're popular or handed down by religion, politics, or academia. Instead, they live by their own values. They choose what to believe, what to create, what to become. It's not an easy path, but for Nietzsche, it's the only one worth walking. The difference between scholars and philosophers: Nietzsche draws a sharp line between scholars and philosophers. And he makes it very clear: most people who call themselves philosophers are just scholars in disguise. Let me break that down. Scholars, according to Nietzsche, are basically intellectual workers. They're smart, yes. They know how to analyze, research, and cite other people's work. But they don't create. They don't question the foundations. They preserve ideas. They don't challenge them. A philosopher is a terrible explosive, endangering everything. Yeah. That's not your average professor. A true philosopher, Nietzsche says, is dangerous. They shake the ground you stand on. They don't just play with ideas. They live them, embody them, and often suffer for them. They're creators of values. They don't just ask, "What is true?" They ask, "What truth do we need?" This is what Nietzsche means when he talks about the philosophy of the future. It's not just a set of better arguments, it's a whole new kind of human being. Dangerous minds. Why the free spirit is rare? Nietzsche knows that free spirits are rare, and always will be. Why? Because most people don't want to think that hard. It's easier, much easier, to live inside a system where the rules are already laid out for you. But Nietzsche doesn't blame people for that. He gets it. In fact, he even respects the need for rules and systems. They keep society functioning. Still, he's writing for the exceptions. For the people who can't go along with the herd. The ones who feel like outsiders because they think too deeply, feel too strongly, or refuse to pretend they're satisfied with easy answers. Nietzsche's dream is that, one day, more of these spirits will rise. He writes, "The greatest events, they are not our loudest but our stillest hours." The free spirit doesn't always shout. Sometimes they whisper, but they always move forward. Self-overcoming. The highest human task. Here's something beautiful about Nietzsche's idea of the free spirit. It's not about being perfect, it's about self-overcoming. That's one of Nietzsche's favorite ideas, and it might be the closest thing he ever gives us to a moral code. Self-overcoming means pushing past your own limits, facing your own darkness, letting go of comforting lies, even the ones you told yourself, and becoming more than you were before. Not in a shallow, motivational speaker kind of way, but in a raw, gritty, painful way. Because growth is painful. The free spirit doesn't seek comfort, they seek clarity, power, and most of all, transformation. You must be willing to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? That's the kind of fire Nietzsche wants us to walk through. Why this matters now, you might be thinking. Okay, cool ideas, but what does this have to do with my life? Actually, everything. Because we're living in a time where we're drowning in opinions. TikTok takes, YouTube commentary, non-stop news, social media drama. It's all noise. Everyone thinks they know what's right, what's moral, what you should care about. But how many people are thinking for themselves? How many are just echoing what they think they're supposed to believe? Nietzsche's challenge is still alive, still burning. Are you ready to become your own philosopher? To question everything, even the questions? To go beyond good and evil? So far, we've seen how Nietzsche exposes morality as a historical invention, how he calls for a radical revaluation of values, and how the free spirit, rare, dangerous, creative, is the philosopher of the future.